All right, mic'd up. Fran Cesar on the Fan on a Wednesday evening at 6:03 now. And I got up this morning. My phone started ringing because I guess, for a while we're going to have to live with that whenever something happens or something is said by Dog about me, or I haven't really said much about Dog, since he left. But I'm going to hear about it, and people want to report about it. You know that we've all day been turning away phone calls. I wanted to discuss it. And for whatever reason, Dog was on Stern this morning. I don't know why. But I guess to discuss the solidity, the solidarity and the fact that they were showing that there was, some solidarity and that they weren't falling apart over there, even though there's been all these reports. And listen, I don't wish anything bad on Sirius. I've said that all day. I don't take it as being a joke right now. There are too many people out of work, and there's a lot of people who left here through the years, good people. And I'm not talking about people who make a lot of money. I'm talking about people who just have everyday jobs, who are in radio, who worked here, who were very helpful to us, who are friends of ours, and who were there at Sirius. And no one wants to see them be put out of business. So to me, that's not a laughing matter, especially right now, the way the world is. There's too many people out of work already. And I don't take it as a laughing matter, so I don't make jokes about their stock price or anything else. Now, some of it, when Dog's going to go on Stern, is said in jest. Everyone has to understand that. Some of it, though, was very misleading, stuff that I have to discuss because people have asked me for direct answers to questions. So I'll take them basically as I know them, one at a time. First of all, Dog and I have only seen each other twice. That's been brought up. The first time was at Joe Torre's dinner. We had a very, very good time. We sat and chatted about a lot of things, the show, his show, my show, what was going on and everything. Went very well. I thought we got along very well. The second time was at Monday at the Super Bowl, and I know a lot's been made out of me taking the show out of Radio Row and all these crazy things that have been written about why I took the show out of Radio Row. First of all, as Dog would tell you if he wanted to be honest about it and not go down the road that Sirius has wanted to go about this competition, which I didn't know we were in. I've never been a fan of Radio Row since they developed it, and I've always wanted to get the show off Radio Row. And when I saw Dog that day, he said today that we had a confrontation, and it was a very uncomfortable meeting when I thought it was a very nice, very comfortable meeting. He was on the set where we were doing the show from the second floor of the Hyatt. I came down because I was staying there, and I saw Dog, and we were laughing, we were talking, and I said, why don't you open a show with me? And we'll make some news. Come on, sit down. And he said, I can't do that. I said, no, come on, sit down. And everyone was laughing, and then he left. That was it. It's the only time I saw him all week. So this idea that we, had this uncomfortable meeting, well, I wasn't at that meeting. I thought it was very friendly. I think Eddie and Sal tell you that it was very friendly. I teased him about coming and sitting on and starting the show, and I was serious. I said, come on, we'll have some fun. That'll shake everybody up, and he wouldn't do it. He said, I can't do that, I can't do that. And he went running off, and I never saw him again. Now, I didn't know, since we started this, since he went his way and I went mine, I've never considered Sirius to be in competition with us. They do their thing, we do ours. I'm a New York program. He's got a national program, a very different venue, which we all knew, a different set of challenges and a different set of competition than I have every day. I've never thought about his program, to be honest with you. And then I get hit with this whole thing that week about Dog had 56 guests, you had 6 guests. Your response, and I'm like, response to what? I didn't know it was in competition. I mean, I didn't know that first of all, I didn't even know how many guests I had, and I sure wouldn't know how many guests Dog had. I had no idea. So I'm like, competition for what? I didn't know I was in competition. I just went down to do my program, my way from where I wanted to do it, by myself, and I wasn't worried about anything. That's all I did. Next thing I know, I'm getting asked these questions about, you're not getting the same guests and this and that. Well, first of all, to be fair to my guys, I put the show in a place where I wanted to do it from, A. B, ESPN and Sirius, which is about 100 and something guests at the Super Bowl, are off limits to my show. They are embargoed. So any of those guests are not allowed on my show. ESPN has made it impossible for any guest, including guys who are longtime friends of mine, to ever be on the show. They're banned from the show. We had no guests that were on that are from ESPN. So that ESPN brings an amazing amount of people who have some connection to ESPN down there, and they're not allowed on the show. So that takes up a lot of guests. Plus, I wasn't into the volume of guests anyway. It's not something I thought anything about all week. And then this idea, as I heard this morning, that I threw a fit when I found out that certain guests were on Dog Show. I never even knew who was on Dog Show. I had no idea. Day to day, I didn't know the whole time. And then this whole idea about Bill Parcells being on the show. First of all, and then I threw a fit on Friday. Dog said after I found out Bill Parcells was on the show. I didn't even know when I left Tampa that Bill had been on a show. I had no idea. I'm going to let you know a little scoop now, just to show you how ridiculous that all is. I didn't even know Bill Parcells was in Tampa. And I didn't ask Bill to be on my show last week. As a matter of fact, like I said, I'll let you know a little scoop. Bill and I, who used to be very close, have not spoken in 6 months. We have had a little, I don't want to call it a falling out, whatever you want to call it. That's between he and I. But I have not spoken to him in 6 months. We have not spoken. So the idea that I cared where he was or anything, it's ridiculous. And I didn't throw a fit. I didn't even know till someone called me on Saturday and asked me for my response that Bill was on Dog Show. And I said, I have no response. I got no problem with it. It's fine. I didn't even know Bill was in Tampa is what I said to the guy who called me, the writer. I said, I didn't even know he was there. I said, what do I care if he was on Dog Show? I don't understand. I never asked him to be on my show. And to be honest with you, I'm being as honest as I can be right now. I haven't talked to him in like 6 months, maybe 7 months. We've had a little, whatever you want to call it. That's between he and I.